Hello and welcome to another update on Bitcoin. So we can see on the Bitcoin chart here on the daily time frame that there is a bit of a pullback there, and Bitcoin is currently trying to retrace a bit. It is not a massive correction. We are still above 100K. We are still above the swing lows here from mid-May, around $100,750. And of course, we are still far away from our main support area in the white scenario. By the way, the white scenario is still bullish. I mean, the white count is not bearish. It's just that a larger correction could be underway. I'm skeptical about it because the altcoins don't necessarily support this. Some do, some not so much. And Bitcoin likes to form shallow retracements if we are indeed in a bullish phase. Now, what could very much happen is something like this that happened in November 24. You can't predict it. At the time as well, we had an ABC structure to the upside in this A wave, and the pullback in wave B was extremely weak. So I'm just saying, while this is currently some kind of a pullback, it might be the last opportunity to maybe get a pullback position before we get that C wave rally higher towards 130K plus. I'm still looking for that. I'm still watching for that. Still looking for overall higher prices in this fifth wave to the upside, which started when the fourth wave bottomed in April this year. And there is currently no sign that something more bearish is unfolding. I mean, that can always change. But exactly because of that, we've got the support area on the chart here on the daily time frame, which keeps us safe. And this support area is here. It's between $81,340 and $95,848. It's our main support area, and as long as we're holding that, the overall focus can be still on higher prices. Again, doesn't mean that we have to get this deep pullback. The yellow scenario reminds us that pullbacks might be shallow. So we could also just see a less deep, a rather shallow internal wave 2 pullback before we then go higher in a third wave more directly. So we have to keep an open mind there. On the smaller time frame, I'm tracking how an ABC structure to the downside would look like on a smaller degree. And then on the smaller time frame, we really have to take it level by level because it's not very clear yet whether we are in the white scenario or the yellow one. But I have given you there a very clear resistance area, and as long as that resistance area isn't broken to the upside, the pressure remains downward. So let's take a look at the resistance area on the smaller time frame. Let's take a look here at the Bitcoin chart on the 30-minute time frame. Now, what you see here on this time frame is that Bitcoin is forming here what I would call an A, B, C structure. So in the yellow scenario, we could be working on a 5-wave decline here. This is one roadmap I'm tracking here, just so that you know how it would look like. In the white scenario, we're tracking the potential for a 3-wave pullback, which might turn into a larger 3-wave pullback. Okay, so I'm tracking here an ABC structure first. That's going to be the first pivot. Basically here, this blue zone. And then from there, we could go a little lower if the rally remains corrective. So I'm just doubling down on what I said in the last video. I've got this resistance area on the chart. I did not have to adjust it overnight. The last update already captured, I think, roughly the low. And the resistance area is between $107,370 and $110,355. So as long as the pressure, or no, rather, as long as we are below the 78.6 retracement level there in red, the pressure remains downward. And I would call it any rally that goes into this resistance area and looks like a 3-wave move, I would call it a B-wave bounce, okay? Now we need to know that B-waves can be a little bit more aggressive, but I wanted to show you the standard resistance area. But bottom line is, as long as a rally remains a 3-wave move, I would call it a B-wave. It is entirely possible we get a bounce from this region here where we are, because the blue zone represents the ideal target for white wave C of A. Yeah, it's the 100% extension to the 161.8 extension area of the initial A wave decline that occurred between the 22nd of May and the 24th of May. So A, B, C, and that C wave might end in this region. You might say, but the structure tells us it could go a little lower. Well, it could, but bear in mind that in corrections we often get shifts in microstructure. I tried to explain it clearly in the last video. The microstructure is not important here. What is important is what are the levels. So especially the B wave resistance area. These are just standard parameters. I mean, we're working through a correction, and it's normal that even in B wave corrections, in corrections within corrections, sometimes the B wave overshoots. Just need to be aware of that. But overall, this is a support area where the price could give us a bounce from between 105,580 and 102,511. Yeah. In addition to that, we have this structural support. This is pretty much where the price found support around 104,200. And then I would also pay attention, if we go lower directly, to that 100,750 level, which is the swing low that formed on the 12th of May. So it is basically, while it would be ideal to go a little lower, I'm on alert, yeah, for a potential B wave bounce from here. If that happens, if we now start to see the B wave bounce from here, then the decline would rather be a WXY structure instead of an ABC, but it would still all happen within circle wave A, so the overall roadmap wouldn't change. It's just a different microstructure within circle wave A. The reason I'm saying this is because the microstructure here in the decline from the 27th of May high doesn't really look like a 5-wave move down yet. So the proportions aren't ideal. Therefore, I'm thinking maybe the whole thing is morphing into what I would label a WXY structure. So WXY, but I don't want to put that potential onto the chart as well. I'm just mentioning it, try to explain it here in the videos. But that's why we have the parameters on the chart which guide us. So yeah, that's the update on Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.